Alright, so welcome to the second video of this channel, I guess, or third video. Well, you know what I mean. So, as with the previous, more discussion-based video, I am trying to break down the different, I guess you could say, pillars or elements to this channel. And the second one I'm going to talk about is more of, I guess, the self-care or kind of the non-academic related things in life that as a PhD student is sometimes challenging to do. So, similar to the previous channel, I have the 5-minute timer, and we are going to try to explain this in 5 minutes. So, here we go. So, I guess without getting too winded into my background or all of the details, but I think that in my younger years, like in my earlier 20s, I think I took a lot of my self-care or personal wellness a little bit for granted. Just because I think as most people do, but maybe a little bit differently for me. But I naturally had a job that was related to doing physical activity, doing something I really enjoyed. Not that I don't enjoy academia, but we'll give that context in a different way. But it was kind of something I did as a job, but it was also a way for me to de-stress as well. And so it was kind of all-encompassing that I was naturally having these self-care behaviors, not even really realizing that they were self-care behaviors or that they were being used to make me feel better for the day and not lose my mind. No, sorry, I'm just being overly sarcastic and joking. But in all reality, it was one of those things where I had these very useful tools or helpful tools that I just didn't even think about them as tools in a way to be kind of self-care and to de-stress in the way that I think about it now. And there's a lot that has changed in my life since then and related to certain things emotionally, physically, that limit my, I don't want to say ability is not the right word, but limit the way that I think about those things now and the way that I use them now. And so even just simple things like exercise or things that I know are good for my body and I know how to do these things. It's not for a lack of knowledge or understanding of the subject matter. It's a matter of doing them. And that's where partially it has to do with balancing kind of the more academic demands in my life and priorities associated with getting through school that hinder that. But then there's also just the emotional and physical aspects of it that, I'm working through in terms of consistency. Part of it's with that third leg of like ADHD or something, but there's just so many elements as with any person's life that make it challenging in terms of figuring out how to make this a part of your life. And a lot of it has to do with things like habits and things like that. But part of, I think, what I'll do in this channel is to share how I am attempting to actively do things related to self-care and whether it's working or whether it's not working. And like I've mentioned in previous videos, it's not just about, oh, let me give you all of these tips because they worked for me. Well, I'm still going through that discovery phase of trying to figure out exactly what it is that does work for me, what keeps me motivated, what keeps me driven to ensure that I'm also taking necessary downtime while I'm also trying to get a degree. And so it's more about navigating this process and maybe sharing with myself in the future, but also sharing with you what that means and how it's going to work or not work and trial and error. And maybe in future videos I'll explain my background or not. I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future. But it's more of just how to implement these things in my life in a way that makes sense and works for me, and tracking that progress. So, yeah, I'm hoping that that will be very helpful. We are reaching our 5 minute mark, so rather than rambling on unnecessarily, we're going to close out this video at this time, and we made it under 5 minutes, which is amazing. But in future videos, we'll delve a little bit deeper into this subject matter, little by little, piece by piece, and we'll go from there. But I hope your week goes well, and I will see you next time.